Am I the a-hole for dropping my pants in front of a Karen just to show how disabled I really am?
Yes.
I mean, wait to find out. Let's
Okay.
wait.
Okay,
Let's
well,
wait.
I mean,
He
it's
might
weird.
not be the a-hole.
I just have a thing, like my mom's name is Karen, so the word Karen is a double meaning for me. I just want to put that on the record. Mom, I love you, Karen.
She's a nice Karen, for the record. They do exist.
Few and far between.
So this story happened about 5 years ago, and I still remember all the details like it was yesterday. I, 40 female, have been disabled since birth. Spina bifida to be exact. With this disability, I have issues with walking long distances. I do have a wheelchair and walker to help me get around. But when it comes to grocery stores, I usually like to use the mobility scooters that are available. With that being said, I literally knew that this was happening. I parked in the handicap section and pulled my walker out and proceeded to walk/waddle my way into the store. As I was walking into the store, this woman was eyeing me up and down and took it upon herself to be the electric scooter police. I was in the process of unplugging the electric scooter and placing my walker into the basket at the front when she came up to me with not even a foot of space between us and started saying how it's pathetic that people act disabled and aren't really disabled. I'm sorry, at that point it's like, what do you think, she just gets a scooter for fun? Honestly, fair. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of wish that I could have one of those scooters just for fun.
It'd be fun to rip around. I would race you in a Walmart or something. That'd be fun. Would you?
I would. You know, I really would.
Should we next video? Mike and Charlotte, race.
There's no question mine is faster than yours.
Okay, but then we're going to get a
Scooters.
Karen that's like upset by the fact that we're not disabled, and
We can just bring my mom, Karen, who's a nice Karen, and she'll just love it.
like just battle of the Karens.
Yeah, they'll just even out. It's like
They'll cancel
the Infinity
each other
Stones
out.
of Karens. I wonder if there's like different Karen. Yeah, anyways, go ahead.
I was like, okay, yeah, it does suck. She smirked at me and said, so you agree that you are just faking it? As I sat down on the scooter, I looked up at her and I said, no, ma'am, I'm not faking. She eyed me again, smirking. She then proceeded to get louder, calling me a faker and saying I was capable of walking into the store so I would be able to walk the entire store, which in turn got attention of all the employees nearby. I fail to understand how this is any of her business, but okay.
Just like let her shop in peace, okay?
Literally. What is it to you? Even if she was faking it, what does it matter?
Some people just want to see the world burn.
I lowered my voice and told her, no, I can't walk the entire store because I have a weak back and legs. Does she just expect her to be like quadriplegic? You can't be in a wheelchair unless you literally cannot walk at all?
Don't make no sense to me.
It don't make no sense. Ain't no decency left, I'm telling you.
I know, this world, it's crazy.
The world is as angry as it gets.
The employees at this point walk over and ask what the issue was. The Karen of the story goes on to tell the teenagers who don't get paid enough to deal with the drama her sob story about how I was faking it and that she needed the scooter more than me.
What about this Karen? Has she proven herself that she needs the
Yeah,
scooter?
like, I'm sorry, are you disabled, Karen? I'm disabled! You seem to be walking around fine.
In fact, stomping around fine. Looking for justice. Anyways, carry on.
How I was faking it and she needed the scooter more than me, which she never once said to me. Another employee asked me if this was true, and I said no. I was just getting the scooter for myself, and she came over and started talking to me. The lady heard this and started screaming at the top of her lungs that I was just lazy and faking a disability and should be kicked out of the store. At this point, I was fed up and discreetly lifted my pant leg and showed the employee the braces I wore on my legs. She shook her head and turned back to the screaming banshee of a woman.
I love those little details. It feels like I'm there.
I love it. I love the writing.
I can
Well
actually
done.
hear it.
Yeah. And calmly explained to her that I had every right to use the scooter and let me be on my way. She huffed and puffed for a few more minutes, but clearly realized she wasn't going to get what she wanted, so she turned and walked away. I thanked the employees and started my shopping trip. Halfway through, I was up and out of the scooter, reaching for a box of cereal when the screaming banshee came around the corner and started yelling, see? She's faking. She can clearly walk and stand just fine. She's not disabled. I mean, so can the Karen though.
Yeah, I know, like why? Like it doesn't make any sense to me.
It's so weird. I rolled my eyes and got back in the scooter and rolled off to the next aisle. This happened continuously throughout my 45-minute shopping trip. The moment I got up to grab something, I could hear her talking to anyone that would listen. My goodness. I was beyond fed up at this point and told the lady to stop harassing me, which in turn grabbed the attention of yet another employee. The employee knew what was happening and helped me escape by keeping the banshee occupied.
We gotta take care of that banshee.
Restrain the banshee.
Banshee.
Ban the banshee. Thank you, by the way, to that man. You were a godsend in that moment. Anyway, I finally finished up my shopping and got in line to pay when who decides to get in line at the next register over next to me? The banshee. Classic banshee.
Such a banshee move.
I can clearly see her and hear her talking about fakers and lazy people who claim to be disabled when they're clearly not. She says all this while gesturing towards me. The cashier just nods and keeps her mouth shut and doesn't comment. By the time I'm checked out, she's gone, and I'm thankful just to be on my way, but of course, that wouldn't be the end of the story. Oh no, we still gotta drop the pants, don't we?
Oh, the plot thickens.
I had to go to the bathroom. So, as any other responsible person would do, I roll a scooter over to the bathrooms and get my walker out of the cart. I waddle into the bathroom and see the handicap stall is in use. I would normally use the smaller stall, but this day my equilibrium was not at its best. So I stood there waiting to use this bigger stall. So if I needed to, I could grab the safety bars to keep myself stable. 5 minutes go by and I hear the telltale signs of a person getting ready to leave the stall. You know, the shuffling and the...
Just like the noises.
Let out one last fart, you know? That was good. I was relieved because I was about to burst at this point. The door swings open and I come face to face with the banshee. She scoffs and just stands there, not allowing me to get into the stall. What a...
She's a banshee.
She the banshee. I asked her to politely move, but she refused. She just kept going on and on about how I'm not fooling anyway, and now that we're alone, I could tell her the truth about how I was faking it this whole time, and if I was so disabled, then why was I out in public? Insinuating that I was an embarrassment to the human race and shouldn't be out in public? Are you kidding me right now? What a Sorry.
Bad girl.
I feel like that's appropriate in this case, you know? Isn't this entire argument just about the fact that she wants the scooter?
Pretty much, yeah. But she has no way of proving that she needs it in the first place.
I find this so ridiculous.
She's
like,
so
imagine
entitled.
being this so entitled.
Yeah.
Like, imagine being this bored with life.
And this upset.
This
you know?
upset by someone using a scooter.
Yeah, I can't think of a comparable at all.
This is a very unique experience, I would say. Sorry you went through that, by the way. This sounds horrific.
I'm sorry.
By this point, I had it. I was beyond fed up and done playing nice. I said, fine, you want to know how disabled I really am? Here, take a look. I pulled my leggings down and showed her all my scars that run up my legs, hips, and spine, and said, is this disabled enough for you?
Honestly, good for you.
Good for you. I'm glad that you did this in a bathroom too. When I first read this title, I was like, oh, I had a couple of assumptions. Like maybe you did it like in public. It's public indecency to do that. Like you can't necessarily just like drop your pants wherever you want when you're in a public bathroom.
There's no rules.
There's no, well, I don't want to go that far.
Like if there's a toilet within a 3 to 4 foot proximity, you can drop your pants anywhere.
I mean, men drop their pants in front of each other all the time, right?
Yeah, men's locker rooms.
At the urinal, though, as well.
Yeah, and when there's no dividers, it's like you really get to know someone real fast.
I bet.
Oh my.
Her jaw dropped and was about to scream when an employee came in and saw my little moment with the banshee. She pointed to me and told the employee she wanted me arrested for indecent exposure.
That was actually kind of decent.
I was like, okay, if that's true, then I want her arrested for harassment. Period. That's what's up. The employee looked between us, saw my scars and braces on my legs, and told the banshee to leave. She tried to explain that she was just having a conversation with me, and I started stripping. Oh, yeah, that's not what happened.
Of course she would say that.
Like, why would that happen? The employee held up her hand to shush the banshee.
No, I have a whole bag of shh with your name on it.
I heard everything before I walked in. I was told to keep an eye on the lady in a scooter because you were harassing her for almost an hour. I came in when I heard you raise your voice. The banshee looked like she was a fish out of water, grasping to come up with anything to say. She looked at me, then stormed out of the bathroom. As I was pulling my pants back up, she patted me on the shoulder, and she told me she had a daughter with the same disability and was proud of me for standing my ground and not letting anyone push me around.
Good for you.
Good for you, bestie.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I can just see her face, like just like a steam pot, like. And then she just left. And she probably went home and cut coupons out of newspaper or something.
We went to the bathroom together and laughed about the banshee, and I found out she was banned from the store for harassment. Let this be a lesson to all entitled Karens out there. There's only so much a person can take before they snap. I'm not afraid to show people how disabled I really am, even if it's in a grocery store bathroom. Indecent exposure charges be damned.
Damn.
So, are you the a-hole?
No chance you're the a-hole.
No chance.
The banshee is the a-hole.
The banshee is definitely the a-hole in this scenario, I would say.
You're so not the the a-hole. In fact, you're just a wonderful person.
Honestly, you're a better person than me.
I don't know what I would have done. Probably something worse. I definitely would have showed her, like, I pulled my pants down, like my butt.
Just mooned her, gave it a nice little moon.
I probably would have just farted on her, to be honest. Although, it might be a respectful thing to do. I vote to ban the Banshee forever.
We ban the Banshee.
The Banshee's been banned.
The Banshee has been banned.
Goodbye.
All right, let's read what some of your responses are. By the way, thank you guys so much for getting involved in this Reddit thread. I think that we have like 14,000 members at the time of this recording. Even if you don't want to share a story, like get on there, get involved in the community. I'll do my best to keep these videos up, but like sometimes it's just nice to hear from other people, whether you're an a-hole or not, you know? Irish Ninja said, not the a-hole, not at all. On behalf of Ireland, we do not claim this Banshee. Ours are much more polite and wouldn't dream of screaming at anyone with disabilities of any kind. I'm sorry you were attacked. Nobody should go through that. She deserved to be arrested for it. That's what's up. Like, honestly.
She should be, honestly, at that point.
I'm just saying, bestie, like, I understand you were just trying to avoid, like, a confrontation with a Karen, but, like, 45 minutes is a very long time to have somebody just follow you around and harass you. You're a better woman than me. Like, I straight up would have just, like, called the police and told them that I'm being harassed.
Why is your life so boring that you have to harass someone for 45 minutes?
For sure. And nobody should be driven to the point where they feel like they have to like literally drop their pants to like prove like, you know, that you just snap. OP responds, thank you. It's what happens in America more times than not. I wish this was the one and only time I was singled out for being different, but I would be lying. She's definitely a horrible woman / Banshee. The fact that she told me I was an embarrassment and should never show my face in public, I just snapped. You are not an embarrassment, bestie.
No.
You're hilarious and a great writer. And I'm sorry that this happened to you.
You're a great storyteller,
Yeah,
too.
you really are.
I'm going to call every single Karen that I see a Banshee, except for my mother. Although sometimes when she's mad, I'll call her Banshee.
Karen can be a Karen sometimes, but
she can, yeah.
But she's nice about it.
She's a nice Karen.
Not the a-hole like at all. Those employees are truly a godsend. She just stood there as you were suffering and holding your piss back. You handled this much more gracefully than I would have if I was in your position. People are so graceful when it comes to Karens. I was imagining how this would look in an anime series and I started laughing. Some people really just wake up and say, I want to ruin someone's day today. I know I already said it, but you are not the a-hole. You know, that title kind of was like, at first, you know, you might kind of thought you could have been an a-hole in this scenario. Yeah, remember that?
I have to admit, when someone says I pulled my pants just to show someone, prove that I was, what was the title again?
To prove how disabled I really am.
At first I was kind of like, oh.
Yes.
But you know what? Now that I heard about the crazy Banshee, I think that you are officially the Banshee Bandit. You are not the a-hole.
Not the a-hole!
Yay!
My husband threw food at me after I pointed out how rude he was acting. I, 25 female, found out I'm 4 weeks pregnant with my husband, 32 male. As a normal couple should do, I brought up how we are going to raise / afford the second child and what I should do with school. I'm not going to go into much detail about what was said, but basically my questions were not answered and dismissed, or they were answered and were unrealistic. Mid-conversation, he opened YouTube up on his phone while he was eating. I told him it's rude to be on your phone while we're having a serious conversation. Instead of turning off his phone, he said, I'm just listening, and I'm listening to you.
No.
I said, that's still rude. Didn't your parents raise you with manners? And then he threw the food he was eating at me. I was at a loss of words. It got me thinking, is it even worth dealing with a man like this?
There's something just so icky about watching something on your phone while eating and ignoring somebody that's trying to talk to you.
It's the context. It's like you're having a serious conversation.
Especially about that.
Yeah, you're having like this serious conversation about like, hey, I'm pregnant, 4 weeks. Like, I'm in school. We already have a little one. Like, what does this look like for us? And he stops your important conversation and goes on YouTube to put that on during an important conversation.
Yeah, no.
Unacceptable.
That's what I meant by the ick of like bringing that out mid-conversation at dinner.
No. I got it. Yeah.
Like,
so one comment that OP responds to, smart people talk about this before they start fucking with no condoms. OP responds to it, yeah, you're right. We were trying to get pregnant because we wanted our kids to be close in age and I have PCOS. So I have fertility issues. So this was planned. I just didn't plan that I wouldn't have support from his family after he told me they'll retire for the second one and the only good daycare would be $1,400 a month per child. Someone comments back to OP and goes, he wants you home and financially dependent on him, so you can't walk away once the abuse escalates. Please read Lundy's book, Why Does He Do That? About abusive partners, and see how many behaviors you identify in your partner.
well, that got scary.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Which I will say, like, I think there is something to be said about that because a lot of people could argue, like, abuse. No, he just threw food. But
I already forgot about the food.
he literally threw food at her. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, he threw food, but he threw food to hurt her, to do
Silence her.
something. Look at food as his tool. If he threw a hammer at her, if he used his hands instead of the food, it's still an action someone is taking.
Throwing something at somebody.
Yes, it just happened to be food in that moment.
And especially not that anything big would warrant that reaction, but it's over trying to have a conversation while you're watching a YouTube video about the future of our family.
Yeah.
Ew.
Ew.